Clark has a new State Farm commercial, and we have major news coming out of the WNBA about this 2026 negotiations.
State Farm just rolled out a brand new ad featuring Caitlin Clark with NBA legend Chris Paul, and unsurprisingly, the internet is losing it. The spot is only around 30 seconds long, but the reactions? Those are stretching far beyond that. At the same time, new reports about the WNBA CBA negotiations are revealing that the league hasn't exactly been transparent with how those salary numbers were being presented. So let's dig into all of it. Before jumping in, let me ask you something. Why do some people seem almost allergic to watching Caitlin Clark thrive, both on the court and everywhere else? Is it envy? Is something deeper going on? Drop your take in the comments. Anyway, back to what just went down, because once again, Caitlin Clark has managed to live rent-free in a whole lot of minds.
Home, auto, State Farm agents are here for your questions.
Chris, you retiring?
Want to help with this question?
Allow me to assist.
Dad, are you retiring? Oh, puppy. What's your name, little guy?
Tell me, you retiring?
Oh,
it's mascot Jake.
So everyone says you're gonna retire. Is it true? You can tell me.
Is this metal?
Are you going to retire?
Roughly a day ago, State Farm released its newest commercial. This time centered around Chris Paul. He's been starring in these ads since 2008, going on 17 years of Jake from State Farm jokes, Cliff Paul skits, and everything in between. At this point, he's practically a walking State Farm logo. But here's the twist. This particular ad wasn't really about Chris Paul. It revolved around the idea of him possibly retiring. The entire setup is people repeatedly asking him whether he's hanging it up. He's 40 now, signed a one-year $3.6 million deal with the Clippers this past summer, and folks are wondering if this is his last ride. In the commercial, Jake is the one trying to field questions. Chris Paul's own child even asks about retirement, and right after that, Caitlin Clark appears. She looks him straight in the eyes and starts jokingly grilling him about whether he's actually done. She asks him outright, "Is it true? Are you retiring? You can tell me." It's honestly pretty funny. Clark has this friendly, mischievous energy that makes it feel like they've known each other forever. And the internet? It completely melted down. One user on X wrote something along the lines of, "Nobody realizes how obsessed I am with Caitlin Clark's State Farm content," typed entirely in caps. Another person posted that the new State Farm ad with Clark was all they cared about, adding a joke that nobody is too concerned about Chris Paul's retirement, since half the internet assumed he already retired. Yes, it's a little brutal towards CP3, but the point stands. The highlight of the ad wasn't Chris Paul, it was Caitlin Clark. And she was in the frame for maybe 10 seconds. Now, to give this some context, this isn't Clark's first time partnering with State Farm. Not even close. She joined their roster in October 2023, making her the very first college athlete the company ever signed. Think about that. State Farm already had Patrick Mahomes, Chris Paul, and a lineup of major NFL and NBA talent, and they still decided a college women's basketball player deserved a spot beside them. Her early commercials launched in November 2023. One involved Jenny Taft interviewing her in a coffee shop when someone said, "I need a break," and Clark suddenly transformed it into a Big Ten game-style timeout. Another commercial showed a couple backing into a pole and saying "shoot," which summoned Clark out of nowhere to take an actual jump shot.
Time for
Jimmy
a Big
Butler
Ten game
and
break.
Reggie
I'm Jenny
Miller
Taft
even
here with
appeared
Hawkeye
in that
Caitlin
one.
Clark.
Excuse me, I just need a little help. Life's moving really fast. New job, new car, new apartment.
Oh, you don't need us. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm is there for you and can help with your insurance needs.
Oh. Hey, Jenny, I gotta get back to the game.
Oh, right. Let me just grab a latte to go.
Make that two.
Could I have a scone?
Earlier this year, State Farm debuted what might be their strongest Clark-centered ad yet, the From the Logo campaign. It played off her trademark skill of drilling three-pointers from way out near the center court. Logo in the spot. Clark says, "You know, life would be easier if I could do everything from the logo." Jake takes it literally and paints State Farm logos all over her home so she can handle everyday tasks, opening jars, sorting laundry,
You know,
all while
life would
standing
be
on a
easier if I
logo,
could do everything
honestly.
from the logo.
Allow me.
The answer is Sheboygan.
They match. P-E-Z-O-L.
Bottom row?
From the logo.
State Farm with the assist.
It's clever branding for that commercial aired all throughout the NBA playoffs and continued during the WNBA season. And now, with this new Chris Paul retirement-themed ad, it's obvious State Farm sees Caitlin Clark as a major pillar of their marketing strategy. She's sharing screen time with a 21-year NBA veteran who's been tied to the company since 2008. That alone tells you the level of value they see in her. But here's where things get interesting. While Clark is landing massive sponsorships and appearing in commercials with NBA icons, another conversation is unfolding. Whether WNBA players are actually receiving salaries
yesterday.
So match
do a
their
little catch-up
impact.
time here, man. So it's stated the WNBA offered a $1.1 million max. Supermax is not what it seems, sources tell Front Office Sports. So from my understanding, I told them to immediately sign this. Now, that's before I read this article. Now, I read a little bit of it. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. We're gonna go over the majority of it right here in this video. But supposedly, there is like clause in this CBA negotiation. Basically, they have to meet certain criteria to make this $1.1 million.
If you haven't kept up with everything, here's the short version. The WNBA's current collective bargaining agreement with the Players Union is almost up. The original deadline was October 31st. Then it got pushed to November 30th, which, as of now, is just days away. Earlier this week, headlines exploded after reports claimed the WNBA offered a new deal that could push the maximum salary above $1.1 million. Articles everywhere framed it as a historic shift. That WNBA athletes might soon be millionaires, that this could change the league forever. And honestly, when I first saw that figure, I reacted the same way a lot of people did. Sign the deal, that's quadruple the current Supermax. It sounds enormous, why hesitate? But once the full breakdown was released, the picture changed according to reporting from Front Office Sports and people familiar with the negotiations. That $1 million headline number was not what it seemed. Here's the real situation. That $1.1 million amount isn't a base salary. It's the total possible amount if you combine base salary, revenue sharing payouts, and various performance bonuses. Under the league's actual proposal, no player signing a contract in 2026 would start with a $1.1 million base. The true base Supermax would fall somewhere between $800,000 and $850,000. Yes, that's significantly more than the current $249,000 Supermax, but it's not the million-plus number being plastered across headlines. So how does one reach that $1.1 million total? First comes the $800,000 to $850,000 base, then add bonuses, winning a championship plus $20,000, finishing as the runner-up plus $7,000, earning MVP plus $15. 0, making the All-WNBA first team plus $10,000. The second team plus $5,000, or simply being an All-Star plus $2,500. 6, All-Star MVP adds another $5,000. Then, on top of that, players would need to hit revenue-sharing triggers, which already exist under the current CBA. And guess how many times those bonuses have been activated since the deal took effect? 0. Not a single time. Players aren't naive. They understand exactly what's happening. Sophie Cunningham, a veteran guard, told Front Office Sports something to the effect of, "It sounds impressive." And the league can flash a huge number in your face. But what happens when revenue keeps increasing? Where does that money actually go? The players' union's response to the offer was even sharper. They described the proposal as nothing more than lipstick on a pig. What the players want is straightforward, a system where salaries are tied to a real percentage of league revenue. That's how the NBA works. Players receive roughly half of all basketball-related income, and the WNBA estimates suggest players receive around 9%, just 9%. Meanwhile, the league is pulling in record-breaking ratings and attendance. Expansion teams are selling for hundreds of millions. Sponsors are lining up to attach their brands to its stars. And in the middle of all this, Caitlin Clark is set to earn less than $86. Zero in base salary next season. She's arguably the biggest driver of attention the league has ever seen, selling out arenas, boosting TV numbers, landing endorsements with Nike, State Farm, Gatorade, and more. Yet her team's salary sits under $100,000. Minnesota Lynx star Nafra Collier has been outspoken about this. She said that players like Clark are bringing far more value to the league than what they're allowed to earn. The league continues to claim it wants to raise salaries. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert talks about transformational proposals, but clearly, there's disagreement about what transformational even means. Players want guaranteed revenue percentages. The league wants to tout uncapped revenue sharing, which sounds generous, until you remember the caps have never once been reached. And while all this plays out, new leagues are emerging to seize the moment. Unrivaled launched earlier this year, a 3-on-3 league created by Breena Stewart and Nafisa Collier, running from January through March and offering another income stream. And then there's Project B, which just announced plans to launch its first season in November 2026.